All right, let's get this started. So, a while back, I think a couple of years ago, actually, a girl came forward and accused the pitcher Trevor Bauer of some kind of misconduct, and then apparently they dropped the lawsuit. I guess they both had a lawsuit against each other. He probably did a countersuit, and now she's being exposed. Apparently, so he actually made his own YouTube video about this. And it is the Lindsay Hills, that's the person who accused him, the leaked text messages or concealed texts finally exposed. I guess they were concealed because of the court. And then after that, we have we also have her interview on the Blaze TV where she defends them. So I'm curious as to see what the text messages are saying. And I'm also curious to see what she says as pushback. Let's get this started.
Next victim, star pitcher for the Dodgers.
Damn. Hey, at least she called you the star, you know?
A text Lindsay Hill sent to a friend before she ever even met me.
Wow.
What should I steal? She asked another, in reference to visiting my house for the first time.
Well, I guess being super charitable to her. I'm not even saying that this is her perspective. Maybe she meant next victim as maybe she likes to get around, and she meant it casually or something. I don't know, but it's not looking good for her.
The answer?
And then looking to steal stuff. Yeah, I feel that, dude. I'd usually just steal some toilet paper out of the house that I'm at, you know?
Take his money. So how might that
Okay.
work? I'm going to his house Wednesday, she said. I already have my hooks in. You know how I roll.
Okay.
Then, after the first time we met, net worth is 51 mil, she said.
Wow.
Bitch, you better secure the bag, was the response.
So you think that she would just get pregnant? Isn't that the easier way to lock these rich guys in?
But how is she going to do that? Need daddy to choke me out, she said.
Okay.
Being an absolute whore to try to get in on his 51 million.
Oh, Jesus. Maybe she's just trying to give you that good suck. To really entice him. Holy moly. These are rough, dude.
Read another text. Then, after the second time we met, former Padres pitcher Jacob Nix told her, you got to get this bag. I'll give you 50,000, Lindsay replied. Her AA sponsor asked her at one point, do you feel a tiny bit guilty? Not really, she replied. Since then, her legal team has approached me multiple times about coming to a financial settlement. But, as I have done since day one, I refuse to pay her even a single cent.
Okay.
In August of 2021, Lindsay Hill's claims were heard.
What's even the allegation? Like, I saw a couple different things. One said that, like, he got too violent with her in bed. And, like, here's my thing. You know, when you get aggressive in bed, you shouldn't be doing it with somebody you just met or you don't know very well. Because those boundaries need to be set pretty hard. So if they were doing, like, very intense intercourse like that, and he went too hard, I mean, like, as long as he stopped, if she said to stop, like, who? Yeah, that's why you really shouldn't be hooking up with people, to be honest with you. Especially doing things that aren't vanilla, because that takes a lot of trust in your partner. And when you're doing with somebody you don't know, I mean, that's how these things will happen, you know, but.
Heard in court. And during those legal proceedings, critical information was deliberately and unlawfully concealed from me and my legal team.
Incredible.
Information like this video, which was taken by Lindsay Hill herself the morning after she claimed she was brutally attacked, emotionally traumatized, and desperate to get away from me.
Wow, that doesn't really help her too much. I mean, if she went that far. You know, it's one thing to be like, yeah, I afterwards I realized he assaulted me. I don't know, man. This is ridiculous.
And now we have the metadata, so there can be no dispute. It was taken mere minutes before she left my house on the morning of May 16th.
Yeah, it looks like a video of her that she's like sending her friend to brag about how she fucked this dude that is worth $51 million.
2021.
The allegations were sexual abuse. Yeah, that's what I thought, right? Like,
my knowledge or consent, of course. In it, you can see her lying in bed next to me while I'm sleeping, smirking at the camera without a care in the world, or any marks on her face. I think it paints a pretty clear picture of what actually happened the evening of May 15th and why the video was originally concealed from us.
Yeah.
After hearing the evidence available to her, Judge Diana Gold-Saltman found that Lindsay Hill had misled the court. She found her claims to be materially misleading.
Yeah, makes sense.
She denied her request for a domestic violence restraining order, and she found that no sexual assault or non-consensual conduct took place. Now, some of you might not know about restraining order hearings. I know I didn't, but I've since learned that it's extremely rare for a request for a restraining order to be denied because the standard of proof that you need to obtain one is extremely low. So you can make of that what you will.
So she denied even getting a restraining order? Why would she do that if he was such a horrific person? I don't understand. Papa, she claimed that he punched her in the face and left bruising. Oh, well then why the fuck are there any marks? Yeah, okay, that's the accusation. Okay, first of all, again, this is the problem when you engage in rough sex. I mean, she made some kind of a offhanded remark about having like some kind of aggressive sexual encounter. I mean, like, so for one, don't do that unless you're with a partner you trust, because that can go south fast. You guys are engaging in aggressive sex that takes a lot of like love, care, commitment, aftercare. You shouldn't be doing that with some stranger. So if he did get too aggressive sexually, to say that it's some kind of sexual assault, because they probably both consented to aggressive sex, and then maybe it went too far. But again, you shouldn't be doing that. Like, you know what I mean? But that being said, where the fuck are your bruises? I don't understand. There was no bruising in that video. Of course they're going to withhold that video. She just lied about it. That's fucking wild.
The fact is, I was never arrested. I was never charged with a crime, and I won the only legal proceeding that took place without my side of the story even being heard.
That's
most
rough for
importantly,
her.
as I've said from day one, I never sexually assaulted Lindsay Hill, or anyone else for that matter. So I sued her, which prompted her to countersue me.
And you know what? Not everybody's as lucky as this guy. He has the money to sue her. For some people, they don't even have the money, and it might be more financially worth it to just settle out at court. And I wonder if she was hoping for that, to get like an easy bag, thinking like, oh, it wouldn't be worth. Maybe she was probably hoping that he would just be like, oh, it's not worth it. I'm just gonna say fuck it and move on. Because I wouldn't doubt that. That's fucking what gross. It's unfortunate because situations like this, with this, you know, Trevor Bauer situation, all this does is make people question like legitimate sexual assault cases. That's all that happens moving forward. Now people are even more apprehensive about it. They're less likely to believe it happened when real cases come up. So it's really unfortunate when people make false accusations. It just hurts people who have actually been assaulted. It ruins people's ability to tune in and listen to people who actually do have some kind of an issue going on. It's disgusting.
Quite frankly, regardless of the outcome in court, I've paid significantly more in legal fees than Lindsay Hill could ever pay me in her entire life.
I don't doubt that.
And I knew that would be the case going in. But the lawsuit was never about the money for me. It was the only way for me to obtain critical information to clear my name. The discovery process in that lawsuit recently concluded, at which point Lindsay Hill's legal team again came to us with another proposal to resolve the case. This time, however, they weren't seeking any money from me. Having received...
I wonder if they're just seeking, hey, just please don't talk about this. I wouldn't even doubt it, bro. I wouldn't even doubt it. They probably just wanted him not to say a word about this because it makes her look really bad. Because she's
much of the
bad.
Information that had been hidden from us, a small portion of which I've referenced here, I was willing to agree to the terms proposed. Mm-hmm. Both parties would drop their respective lawsuits, and neither of us would pay either side any money. I also retained my right to speak publicly about the case, something I have not been at liberty to do since June of 2021.
Damn.
So, as of today, both lawsuits have been settled. Now, over the last 2 years, I've been forced to defend my integrity and my reputation in a very public setting. But hopefully this is the last time I have to do so, as I'd prefer to just remain focused on doing my job, winning baseball games and entertaining fans around the world.
Yeah, makes sense.
Today, I'm happy to be moving on with my life.
Good for him, man. Good for him. All right, let's see what she has to say. This is her interview.
Did he cross the line? What happened? I mean, how does it go from kind of playful, fun stuff to assault? You know, what can you say and how can you describe the situation?
Yeah, it's actually something, you know, for 2.5 years, I have been testifying on and, you know, explaining things away. Every text message, you know, the video, it all has an explanation.
Well, there's text.
Yeah, well, the explanation is that you lied. There's no way that she said that he beat her. And then she has a video of her smiling afterwards with no bruises or markings on her. There's just no way. There's just no way. And when I came into the video, I was like, oh, let's just be like charitable just for the sake of it and play a little bit of devil's advocate. No, it's bad. She's a lying fuck. It's completely irredeemable.
Text messages are bad, though. Lindsay, you keep bringing the text, and I don't even want to, you know, totally kill you on these texts, but as a person that, you know, listen, these texts, let's look at right here. What does that mean?
Because of the allegations, MLB team dropped him from the team, and he had to play in a lesser league overseas. Damn. That's fucked up, man. It's so crazy. It's really I hate to say it, but it's so crazy how an allegation can destroy someone, usually a man's career, without any like real proof. Honestly, I understand that when somebody comes forward with something, we absolutely should take them seriously and listen to them and give them time to talk and not berate them and instantly say they're wrong. But at the same time, you can't just instantly think that the other person accused is instantly guilty. And it's just crazy, man. It's really crazy. It's just wild. You know, it's just fucking crazy, bro.
Ex-victim star pitcher for the Dodgers. That's text 1. That's kind of bad, Lindsay. What is that? I mean, I know you're saying this is no context, and I'm sure you're being sarcastic. I'm guessing. I mean, but what the hell does that mean? Next
what's
victim?
the context of that?
Yeah, and this is, exactly what Trevor wanted to do, was random pick 3 or 4 texts and weave it into a narrative where I just look horrible. But so, when I explained that and in my deposition and different
What's
things,
the explanation here?
I'm like you. I like to joke. I'm very sarcastic, sometimes inappropriate. Anyone who knows me will know that. And these are private, text messages with my friends. And agreed, victim is not the word there. But what my past, I've been involved with other baseball players. That was my world at the time. And it was a funny way, I had already dated baseball players, and it was a funny, sarcastic way to say, oh, here's the next one, that I'm going to try to get attention from. And it was a lot of
I mean, listen, I would believe that if she didn't accuse him of like hitting her and then have a picture of her smile or have a video of her smiling like the next day. So kind of hard to believe that one.
Ego and, attention seeking behavior, which is what I can own, and what he can't do is own any part, but I can totally own the attention seeking behavior. But these texts, in a grand scheme, don't address what happened at all. This was before any of, our interactions or anything like that.
So what happened though? So in the next text he says, "I need daddy to choke me out." Then the third one it says, "Being an absolute whore to try to get in on his 51 million." And I have to be honest, when I read these text messages, I get a little sexually aroused. But I think that's just because I'm insane. But I mean, what happened? He choked you out. He beat you up because in that one video you were smiling after it. So and you sent me that one phone call that we can't play. He did admit that he hit you in the phone call. He said that. He said yeah, but he said it was consensual. So it's like. Yeah. I mean, he said, she said at this point, right? So what happened in your opinion?
I said this twice already. That's why if it was, listen, I wouldn't doubt that what happened is it might have scared her a little bit because he went more aggressive than he thought or she thought it was going to be. But that doesn't mean that it's sexual assault, right? If she's like, stop, I don't like that, and he keeps going, there you go. But it doesn't seem to be the case.
Totally. I think there's several points I can hit on those other text messages just to address those other horrible ones that are just horrifying to be read out loud too. But I think that, like I said, out of context, the next line under that is, my friend saying, "Can't wait for you to be a rich baseball wife." There was never text.
Well, I don't care about that. Explain the hitting part.
That intermingled violence with finances or anything like that. It was just a way for them to weave this narrative. So, I mean, when you ask me what happened, it's probably the longest story in the world. I think that video of me in the bed the next morning definitely raises a lot of eyebrows.
Because your face didn't look that bad, but then I saw other photos where you had black eyes. So what was that from the same thing? I was confused.
Yeah, so there's
did she fake black eyes? Is that what it was?
Another thing that hasn't been public was when my entire body was photographed by it was called a SART exam. So really the timing of that video, what really happened was all of that. I did not make up an accusation about what he did to me. All of that went down. I have the pictures to prove it. I have the phone call that directly aligns, with no denial of doing all of those things. So that video the next morning, when I'm still I hadn't seen everything that had happened in my body. I really had no idea. And just full of emotion. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist to know.
I'm going to listen to the phone call after this video.
What happens after the body takes that kind of experience. But my cousin had
Hold on. You know what? We're going to listen to the phone call now.
Hey, How are you? What are you doing? Are you at the field?
Because she made a vague reference to him admitting something, but I need to understand the context of that.
No, not yet.
Oh, well, I saw that you did fantastic last night.
Thanks. It was a fun one, first time. The Dodgers Giants, so had a little fun with it.
Good, I know. I saw that Instagram. You asking the crowd for a little more there.
Trevor Bauer.
Typical troll me.
Dude, yeah, it is typical you. Yeah, oh my gosh. Well, I was sleeping all day yesterday, but I caught up on all things social media this morning.
Yeah. How you feeling?
I am having a tough time. I've been resting. Kind of like I texted you, I was supposed to go up to my follow-up appointment, but obviously it's hard. I also told you it's hard because I don't want anyone to know, so it's I'm trying my best to just.
I'm assuming she doesn't want anybody to know that she's talking to him, and that's probably something that he asked her because he's famous and probably wanted to keep some aspects of his life private. Okay.
Handle it on my own.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm just I guess I'm just really having a tough time with all of it and just kind of
All of what? So vague.
trying to process how it even happened, you know what I mean?
What happened? Sex? The aggressiveness of it?
Trying to figure that out too. I mean, I know that I know you asked me to hit you and we had safe word and all this different stuff, but I still just can't even.
Okay, there we go. There you go. He probably just hit her too hard. Like I said 3 times, if you want to have aggressive sex, don't do it with a fucking stranger. I don't know what to tell you. Okay.
Figure out how the result was what it was. I just want if there's any way I can help, I want to make sure that you're okay.
Yeah.
I would never do that to you outside of what we had talked about.
Yeah.
Do you know that?
Yeah, no, I do.
And actually, it makes sense. If she said, oh, I got to get daddy to choke me or whatever she said, she probably likes aggressive stuff, and he probably doesn't. That was probably new for him. And so, yeah, maybe that's a problem, too. Another thing, don't engage with somebody that's dominant if they're not very experienced. Not trying to be an asshole, but that could be another experience that you have that might be negative.
And I appreciate, I really do appreciate all your sweet messages and stuff, and, they do make me better, but the thing for me is, it's kind of, blurry for me, obviously, because it was, coming out of, in and out of consciousness, so I did.
Yeah, that's probably because he was choking her. Yeah, that happens, too. Listen, I do aggressive show my wife. I'll choke her. Sometimes she'll get, really close to that. Yeah, the shit gets intense, man. We enjoy that consensually, but it's a very intense feeling. It's a lot. Even some of dude, this type of stuff can get very, very, very intense. Hitting, choking, different words being used. You're trying to enter a fantasy. It changes dynamics. It's not easy. Don't do that with somebody unless you're ready for that.
Ask you to hit me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Me? Because it was coming out of in and out of consciousness, so I did ask you to hit me?
Yeah.
Is she asking him?
Yeah, okay. I don't I'm just I'm trying to wrap my head around it because obviously I'm just in a lot of pain, and I don't remember specifically asking you to hit me, and I mean
I don't know. Here's one of the things I have an issue with is she's the one recording the phone call. Right? Because her voice is crisp and his is through a phone. It's not like a Discord call or anything. So I wouldn't put it past her, not to be too skeptical of her, but so far, I wouldn't put it past her that she's looking to dig a narrative. It's oh, well, I don't really remember explicitly asking you to do that. It's okay, maybe, or maybe you're full of shit.
That did you mean to hit me that hard?
No, I didn't.
No, probably not.
That's why it's confusing, because I didn't feel like I I didn't feel like I hit you that hard, you know?
Yeah.
And certainly, like, I checked on you multiple times, like, hey, do you want to stop? Are you okay?
Okay.
And, like, you said, like, to keep going, so I just was trying to, like, follow your lead on it, but, like, I don't want to, like, I don't want to do that anymore, because I don't want to hurt you, like,
Yeah, no, and
I mean, this guy sleeps with like the glasses on. Like he sleeps with like the face shield on. I mean, obviously this guy's not into hitting.
that's never the point of it, you know?
yeah, and like that's the thing is like that's why and like I really appreciate like I know it's not like easy to talk about, but like I just appreciate you talking to me about it because like I like love spending time with you and I like want to keep spending time with you, you know, so like I just want to like communicate about it. So like for like next time and like when I'm around you, like I just like don't have to like think about it and like understand your like intention, but like yeah, I mean for me it was just confusing because like getting to the point like where I'm at the hospital, I'm like okay, I just have to like really try and understand and
Okay, maybe she did need to go to the hospital. Let's say that she did. Like this phone call doesn't make sense to me if she felt like he raped her. But the fact that it just doesn't add up to me. This conversation, it doesn't make sense to me that it would happen like this if he actually did that to her. He's very apologetic. His story makes sense. He didn't mean to go too far. Even if he did accidentally cross a line, why wouldn't would we call this sexual assault? Like I don't understand. You know, at worst, he just the boundaries weren't clear. It's very clear to me. At least it's pretty clear to me that he created a pretty comfortable atmosphere for her to say no, stop if that ever came up. You know, I like what is it? This is I don't know. I mean, I don't know. To me, it comes off like she was trying to fuck this guy, hoping for like jokingly trying to like hoping for an angle to be able to like make money from him, but just jokingly. But then something happened and she's like, oh wait, I can capitalize on this. Like I don't think that she came into the relationship to try to do that. She seems to have dated other football player or baseball player, excuse me. But now it seems like she's just jumping on her opportunity of like, oh, you know what? I got hurt a little bit. I'm going to try to make it into a lawsuit.
process so I don't like it doesn't like lead
I'm
me
trying to be too charitable. What are you talking about? I don't even know what that means. In what direction are you talking about?
into a mental spiral, you know, but just like I think for it's like the two black eyes and like a swollen jaw. Like I know you had said like at the end you're like, oh I got you like with your mouth open. And then
he's probably smacking her in the face.
Like that's the part I'm just trying to understand because like I know you asked me before because you were like, you know, what's off limits, and I was like, oh, like don't, you know, do the fingers down my throat thing, and like
so they had a whole conversation before that. She just admitted they had a whole conversation about their boundaries before that. Okay. Well, she's admitting that what the fuck?
Like I know it's like I guess I'm just trying to wrap my head around it, I guess. And like, I don't really, like, what did we talk about beforehand in terms of boundaries? Like, what was your, like, understanding? Just, you know, so, like, we can be on, like, the same page, like, moving forward. But I just want to know, like, what year, like, you thought was, like, okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like, you had just kind of from our text conversation, you had asked me, I haven't really gone back and read it, but you said something about like slapping in the face and like whatever else I wanted and stuff like that. And then like I feel like
bro, they had a conversation beforehand about the limit of the boundaries. Again, even if he unintentionally crossed it, clearly there's nothing malicious. This isn't some kind of sexual assault. This is ridiculous.
That's kind of what happened, and I just wanted to check on you. We had the conversation about that kind of being your way of like escaping.
Clearly he gave her a concussion. Where is there an accusation of a concussion? What are you talking about it?
And just kind of like letting go and
yeah, like in terms of like the choke, like that I said to you about like choking.
Okay.
Yeah, and like we talked about like how you kind of how you felt like going out and like coming back, and you had said that you wanted to do it again because you felt good.
Oh, going out and coming back? That sounds like he was choking her. That happens when you choke somebody. They go out and they fade back in. Yeah, she probably felt good. I think it feels good too. Okay.
Made you feel good.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I was just trying to like. I really appreciate you as a person. like spending time with you and stuff. And
Yeah, I just like,
have
yeah.
I'll never. Like, if we set I'll never cross boundaries with you.
I ever choked a girl too hard? Yeah, I like aggressive sex. Like, yeah, I've been in situations with women before where I was too aggressive. And anytime they told me to stop, I'd stop. But then sometimes the person you're with won't even have you stop when you're being really aggressive, even if it's too much, because they'll like it, and then it'll really fuck them up afterwards. So, like, yeah, again, don't do this stuff with people you don't know.
I thought that like everything that we had talked about was like,
Yeah, I just think that like, like I like, and I'm just communicating like for my like own peace of mind, like I said, because I like want like us to be exactly like, I appreciate you so much, and like I want us to like exactly accept boundaries and like move forward, but like for my own peace of mind, like I just have to communicate, like I never like said it was a free-for-all, and like the punching and like all that stuff that results in like,
where's this accusation of her getting a concussion? Okay, she has a concussion, like getting punched and that kind of thing, which resulted in black eyes and head stuff. So referring to her concussion, she continued, I just like, I don't know. I never like thought, okay, did she get an actual concussion? I mean, okay, that sucks. If she got a concussion from being smacked in the face, like, okay, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's unfortunate. But they clearly discussed boundaries beforehand. So this is the problem. When you're going to have aggressive sex, like, you have to be ready for the potential consequences. You can get concussion. You could get fucking brain damage from being choked. People still do it.
Me being in the hospital and that stuff, like, it's just been a lot. So I just, yeah.
It's like the same if you want to play baseball. You go into baseball understanding the rules, and then you understand that sometimes something might go wrong and you might get hurt. But that doesn't mean that the person that may have hurt you is necessarily at fault for doing a bad thing. Sometimes it's just what happens. It's part of the rules of the engagement. Have vanilla sex if you're not ready for the consequences of unfortunately getting hurt. It doesn't sound like he was malicious at all.
Yeah, so I mean, on my end, like I wasn't like I don't ever want to hurt you. I thought that like what we were doing, and because we like checked multiple times about having a safe word and like and all that, like I thought that it was like I thought that you were okay, and I would check multiple times. Like, hey, are you okay? Do you want to stop or not? You said no, so okay. That was kind of my way of like trying to make sure that we weren't crossing any boundaries.
Yeah, just checking in.
Like,
sure.
Obviously.
Yeah, I just like I don't like remember. We never like talked about like punching, like getting punched and that kind of thing, which like resulted in the black eyes and like the head stuff.
What does head stuff mean? Like, does she actually get a concussion, or did she just claim that she got one? Does she have a medical record to back it up? Because she's being super vague about it.
And like at the end, like when I did like say the safe word, like because I was in like so much pain when you were like hitting the top of like my little, like my vag, like that's like when I could like barely get it out to say, like I just like, I don't know. I never like thought that that's.
So she said she finally got the safe word out. What did he do when that happened?
Like what it was gonna be,
Okay, so we don't know. So it sounds like she gave the safe word and he stopped. Yeah, I gave you the safe word, after the aggressive sex, and I'm like, wow, why didn't you stop sooner? Incredible stuff. No, we don't know what head stuff means. She's being very intentionally vague. She's also recording the conversation. So she's being more meticulous about what she's saying. There's a reason that she's not saying that she got a fucking concussion, in my opinion, when she's saying head stuff. Why wouldn't you say, I got a concussion? Did she actually get a concussion? Or are we just full of shit? I don't know.
We just like hadn't like talked about that.
Okay. Then you should have just gave the safe word immediately, and then it wouldn't have mattered. But you waited. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't have a safe word. My wife will just say stop, or she'll tap like tap out, like we're wrestling. That's pretty well known. Well, not well known, but that's just what we do. We don't say like banana or something.
understand that for sure. Like,
What do you like? But what about that? Do you understand? You know?
What? He stopped? Did he not stop?
I understand like how like you feel like. Yeah, I should understand how you feel that way. Like it was obviously like that was not my intent. Like I thought that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just kind of thinking like,
Okay.
and again, like I appreciate you like talking to me about it because like this just helps me. But like why did you think that was okay? You know, like or like was it just that you got carried away? Like,
No, I thought, like,
bro, he's already answered this question. This is so fucking stupid.
It wasn't like carried away at all. Like I thought I was kind of following in my head. I was following your lead. Like what we had talked about pain and like, slapping and hitting and like these things and wanting to be choked and like letting go and being just like submitting and stuff like that. And that's why when like during it I was like very like asked you multiple times like, are you okay? Like, do you want to stop? Like, is that too much? Like, do you want to use a safe word? Stuff like that. That was my way of like trying to follow your lead.
It sounds like she's just fishing, dude.
yeah, I think it's just confusing because like you like because it was coming out of like in and out of consciousness. Like I don't remember you ever asking me, and like I like the punching thing. Like I like didn't want that, and like that's just what I wanted to communicate. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm very like I'm sorry that I don't know like what to say. I feel really like I feel your pain and I'm like in pain too, and I never wanted to get to that point. Like we'll never get to that point again. I promise that. I know that doesn't change anything. Like I'm hurting too, and this like I know you're experiencing it much more than I.
Wait, hold on a second. I'm gonna turn this up. Wait, do you hear something? She's like whispering. I'm gonna turn myself up.
I'm hurting too, and this like I know you're experiencing it much more than I am. Like
she's whispering something. I don't know what it is, but it makes me uneasy.
I feel so bad that like was something that I thought I was just trying to like give you what we had talked about and like make me feel good. That was my like perspective on it, like. And
Yeah.
so I like.
Yeah. No, for sure. And like I appreciate you.
Too.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Like I can't say it enough. I appreciate you like saying those things. That's why I wanted to like talk about it. I'm just kind of like, yeah, that's what I wanted to understand. Like, why did it get to that point?
Yeah, like
she's digging for something.
Like,
she's digging.
It wasn't like it wasn't something where I just like blacked out and like was didn't have like was just doing whatever. Like I was like that was my perspective on it. It's like I was trying to like no, I was trying to like protect you, but also like have the type of sex that we had talked about and like.
Yeah.
And I know it's a fine line. Like.
Yeah, this is like this 5 minutes of this conversation were necessary, and then after that, it's all fishing. It just sounds like she's fishing for us. She's looking for an answer for court. That's the only thing I can get out of this.
I'll never.
Especially since this could have been an in-person conversation, and it would have made more sense if it was an in-person conversation, because it would have been more productive, right? I mean, I don't understand why it isn't, unless you're fishing for something.
Yeah.
I don't know the words. I'm struggling because I don't want to hurt you. Like I never want to hurt you.
Yeah, I just like for sure wanted to communicate that I like never want to be like punched and hit super hard. Just because I'm like going through what I am going through right now, and like you know me, I'm not good at communicating, and I just like
I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but if you want to have aggressive sex, I'm not good at communicating, then you can't have aggressive sex. If you're not good at communicating, then you shouldn't be engaging in casual sex, and you shouldn't be engaging in like aggressive sex, because both of those things require a deep amount of communication. You can't say, "Oh, I'm not good at communication." Like literally, there's a safe word that you decided not to use until like you felt like it went way beyond what you were comfortable with. That's not the point of a safe word. The point of the safe word is to say it immediately. What are you talking about? You're not allowed. Like, oh, I don't like. You're so fucking stupid, dude. What a shitload of fuck. What an idiot. It's just so, it's enraging because it's these false accusations like this one that really, it makes actual survivors of assault not get listened to because you hear people lying about everything. It's just so dumb.
Never said that I wanted to be punched or like,
okay, we get it.
You know, anything
I wish she
like
punched
that.
you harder,
so
honestly,
I just
at this
like,
point. Holy fuck.
you know, you've been asking me a ton to like communicate and like let you in, and I want to do that. So it's like super hard for me to say these things, and I know for you too, it's hard. But I just had to like clearly communicate that to you, you know, just because of like where it ended and like the hospital and having to like hide it and like not be at work and so it does feel better to talk about it, like I said, because I don't want it to be something where we like don't like get to still be friends or do whatever because of it, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, I'll never, like, obviously having clear communication.
Bro, if I was the judge, they probably heard this and they threw it out. They probably heard this and go like, get the fuck out of here. That's probably because he didn't even have to plead his side and he won. That's the funniest part about this whole thing. This is the literally funniest part about this entire thing.
About things now is good. You know, I thought that we were, you know, that we communicated. Obviously, like I know now that like there was some miscommunication there, and there, like, but it'll never happen again. Like, I don't want you to be like afraid to like be around me or like. And if there's anything I can do to help you, like,
is punching normal and aggressive sex? I don't know if it's normal. I don't punch. I never do anything that's like closed fisted. But that's the thing is I don't even trust her assessment of what a punch is. I also don't think he's in a position where he would go, "Oh, I didn't really punch you." Like he said, he didn't hit her that hard. I don't even know if he actually punched her. I think that might just be her framing because I think that she's recording this for court. And I could be wrong. Maybe I'm being like too charitable to him, but at this point, she's already like lost all of her charitability. It sounds like I don't even think he punched her. I think that he hit her consensually and sexually, and maybe it was a little too hard, and maybe she got a little roughed up, and she didn't use her safe word when she should have, and she got more beat up than she thought. And now she's saying the word punching, hoping that he'll like agree, so that he can be like, "Oh, see, he didn't deny it, so that must mean that it's true."
you mentioned, like missing work, like there's. I want to make sure that you're okay. You know, honestly, like if I can help, like please, is there something I can do? Like,
yeah,
I probably have girl punches. Yeah, true.
Yeah, honestly, like I'm just trying to understand and like not even like being a bitch at all, but like it's more of just like, you know, I'm like inexperienced with all this stuff, and so it's like, because remember like after the first time I was like, oh, is this like a normal response? Like I know nothing like about like rough.
I don't know if I believe that. I don't think that she's an experience. I just don't believe her based on her messages where she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get daddy to choke me." Yeah, it could have been a one-off, but that and him saying that he wasn't super comfortable and he was following her lead and her not denying that. I don't know. I feel like this is very normal for her. I think that she's just trying to capitalize.
Sex or anything like that. So like,
yeah, okay.
Do you like how? Could you think that like that it's okay, you know, to like punch and like hit the hard, like,
oh my God,
you know, to where bruises are, and like I'm just kind of trying to understand, like, do you think that's okay? Like
generally speaking, leaving bruises is very normal in aggressive sex, and it's almost the desired impact for a lot of people. That's like the goal. It's almost Yeah, that's the desired goal. When you doing that, a lot of times people want to be bruised. They want it to be painful. That's the point of having aggressive sex. To feel pain, to get bruised, to leave marks on you. What are you talking about? I don't it doesn't even make sense. Why else would you do it? I'm not saying it justifies punching. I'm not even sure that he did punch her, but that why would you not expect to be bruised? That doesn't even make fucking sense to me.
Or like, how could you think that's okay? If you know, like, if that makes sense.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that makes sense. I understand. Like, I was under the impression that you would like had rough sex before because you had said that it was like kind of your way of escaping. So like it's.
Wait, so she said it's her way of escaping. What does she say to that?
Like, I should have like clarified that and talked to you more about it and like really gotten on the same page.
What did she say to that?
About that, like it's never like rough sex is never about like my like fantasy or my wishes. You know, it's all about trying to. For me, it's all about the other person, like trying to, like, you know, give them what. Like, I don't know exactly how to like phrase it.
I get it.
You know,
So
but,
you kind of. Oh, sorry. Keep going.
Okay, so she's not going to deny it. So it's I 100% I believe what he's saying. She probably likes aggressive sex, and she probably wanted it, and now she's just turning around and spinning a fucking narrative after the fact. Shut the fuck up. This is so dumb.
Yeah, but I just like I because I was under the impression that like you had like done some sort of rough sex and stuff before. Like
It's my escape.
I should have had more of a conversation like, with you about it.
Bro,
But
this
again,
guy,
like, it was,
this guy is like super. This guy, what he's saying isn't. This guy is what he's saying isn't even necessarily. Isn't even necessary. Like he's completely this. It sounds from the way that he's talking to her. It sounds like this dude is like super aware of his impact on women and doesn't want to make them uncomfortable because none of this shit that he's saying is really that necessary. You know, it's not if she says that she's into rough sex, then he doesn't have to constantly like it's not his if she says I like rough sex, it's not his responsibility to sit there and be like, "Oh, I should have made super sure that you're you know what I mean?" It's like no, he did all he had to do. He did more than enough. This is fucking crazy.
it was not a you know, it was not about like trying to like, live out like, anything about me. Like, I was.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense. So you kind of just like assumed that it was okay.
No. Assumed based off of you telling him.
I mean, we had talked about it, so like our conversation about it had me,
Yeah.
you know. Like,
We had a conversation where you gave your explicit consent. Oh, so you assumed that I consented to you? Yeah, you're right.
like that was kind of your escape, and like.
Okay.
You wanted to be slapped and like choked and stuff like this. Like that's why I.
Okay. This is
You
insane.
told me that you wanted those things, so I was.
Mm-hmm.
That's what gave me that impression, you know.
This is fucking crazy.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to remember, like, obviously, like, what I said. So, like, what did I even, like, what did I even tell you was, like, what did I tell you that was off limits again?
Dude, she's not even denying it. I never knew there was a flight point here in the fucking 20 years I've been playing this game. She's not even denying it. She's fishing so hard. Holy fuck.
Like you said, like, you know, fingers down the throat, and but you like you asked, you know, via text, like it's in our text thread.
Yeah. No, I definitely remember talking about the choking. Well, no, 100%, 1000%. For sure, that was me. Yeah,
For sure.
It's just kind of like different than the punching and all of that stuff.
Okay.
But
We
no,
get
I'm
it.
super grateful. It actually like helps me so much to talk about
get
it, just because I've been in this headspace of like trying to. Well, one, I'm just like have concussion brain, so I'm like, bleh, like
Okay.
it's just like I've just been sleepy, and so I'm trying to put like my pieces together, obviously. And
Does
I'm
he
just
know he's being recorded? I have no idea.
like alone and like obviously
Doubtful.
like thinking about it. So it's like helpful that you can tell me like you know, like tell me like where you were coming from. Like I appreciate that so much. But like I think like when I'm thinking about the like concussion, like how many times do you think you like hit my head?
I don't know. Who cares?
It wasn't like I couldn't.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It wasn't that many. It was. That's why I was so surprised. Like when you said, I was like, well, I didn't think that anything that we.
It sounds like he barely did anything to her, and she's sitting here trying to make it seem like it was this huge thing.
Yeah, I was so surprised
Yeah.
when I heard, you know.
I was just like shocked at my like freaking badge. It was literally like black and blue. So I was like, shit, how many times did you like punch that? But like I remember that part at the end. But
I mean, he smacked your pussy. Like, you should have told him to stop. I don't understand. That's why you have a fucking safe word.
because that's like when I said safe word. So yeah, I'm just processing it.
Yeah,
And
that's when he said, and then you're not even claiming that he didn't stop after the safe word. The safe word was given and he stopped. There's nothing out. This whole thing is so dumb.
like, yeah. And like, did I seem like super out of it? Like, was I?
She's fishing. She's trying to see, like, oh, was I really out of it? Like, shouldn't was I at a point where it should have seemed like you weren't able to get actual consent anymore? That's the whole thing.
Like, did it register to you like how out of it I was like after passing out and stuff?
This is hard to listen to. It's hard. It's just such a bad situation for both of them. I would believe that, because part of me would believe that she had a bad situation as well. Like, the way that I would like to look at this is, oh, here's the situation that happened. They got together and they interacted and they had aggressive sex, right? Very normal for people to have aggressive, like, not normal, but okay, consensual aggressive sex. And maybe it went too far for her and she got like a little upset from it. And I would be 1,000% like, okay, I would be like 100%. I would like 100% be like, okay, that could have happened. Because you're engaging in this type of sexual intercourse, somebody that you're not very familiar with. But then for her to call him up, to dig up information, for her to try to sue him, that makes me, I don't care anymore. I don't care about whatever experience. She might have had a bad experience, but she's assassinated her credibility. So I don't care. I'm not trying to be rude. I know that's mean, but it's like you're, very clearly there, part of you is looking to capitalize on this situation. It's very unlikely that he tried to or really crossed any boundaries. With definitely no malicious intent behind it.
Or was I fine?
Like you seem fine, because like when you would come to, I would like, hey, how are you? Like we would talk, and it seemed like you were.
Yeah. You probably choked her.
Normal. I said, how are you? Okay, like how you doing? I'd check on you, make sure that everything that we were doing was still fine. Because I never wanted to cross any boundaries with you, so I kept checking to make sure that like that what we were doing was like still okay, because like at the end like when you said the safe word like that, my reaction, there was like everything completely stopped as soon as you said that, and I was like, hey, are you okay? Like,
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted, like, at any time during that during the night, like, had you asked me to stop or like anything like that, that would have been my reaction, because again, like, it wasn't about me, it was about like trying to.
Yeah. I just like.
So,
yeah, the case is dropped, just so you know. The case was dropped before he even had to give testimony. All the evidence she brought forward was enough to dismiss her case, because it wasn't good enough. So
I don't remember you ever asking me if I was okay. So it's like, and I know I'm confused because obviously with like a concussion, like your head's pretty fucked up.
Okay.
So I just don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember you asking me if I was okay.
cool.
But yeah, I mean, I remember like after I was like crying and like full trauma. I do remember you after, like, like, yeah, I know you stopped and stuff.
So she started crying and he stopped. Listen, this is something that might happen if you're having this type of sex. If you have aggressive sex, you might start crying. Like, I'm not. That doesn't change my mind. Oh my God, he must have hurt her. Yes, because she wanted him to. Like, this happens.
How do we go
What?
here? Like, how do we move forward from here? Is there anything I can do to
Yeah,
help,
give me
or, like,
$5 million.
Yeah, I'm trying to be here for you and get through this together. And I don't want you to feel like you're.
I also question how hard was she crying? Was she just had some tears in her eyes, or was she like full out bawling? Because I feel like there's something to that as well.
I have to go through this alone, but I also don't want to feel like I don't want you to like not want to talk to me and have me continuously be like trying to talk to you and like. So, can you give me some direction on like what can I do to help you? Like, what's the best way to go about that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like, this is the reason why I called you. Like, again, like, you know, like, it's hard for me. I'm not like the most vulnerable person, or like, I'm just like, I just have to get the facts so I can like understand. And like, because of like the way the injuries went, and it just like seemed to me like you were like, we're like a little out of control, and it did scare me. Like, I was really scared, like, obviously based off my reaction, like you saw me after, and like
and then they went to bed together, and then woke up, and she had a video of her where she didn't have any bruising on her. That's all. This makes a lot of sense.
like, I was scared in the hospital, like, so I'm just like trying to figure that out. But like, the best thing that like you could do to support me, was like this exact like phone call, and just kind of like tell me like those things, and for me to like express like how I felt about it. So like, I do feel a lot better, and
Good for you.
I think like, just in the future, it's like, now you know that like wasn't okay with me, and we just kind of like I mean, you know me, like, I try to like mask my shit with humor. Like, I want to like go to like, I just like be ourselves, and like, this conversation really was like all I needed to like feel better personally, you know what I mean? So like, thank you again for just saying all that. And I know
and then she sues him.
asked you like a lot, and you're probably exhausted and you have a game today, but no, that's like the best thing you could do for me, was just like be honest and tell me about those things. So yeah, I mean, I've like I said, I feel better. Like, how are you? Like, how are you feeling?
Like, I'm worried and
About what?
just like you, and just making sure that, like, obviously I'm not even in town right now, so I can't like come see you if that's something that you wanted, or like try to help at all. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm worried about you, and like I'm gonna have to like process kind of like what we talked about. Obviously, just again, like my impression, like where my head was at, obviously is so much different than like where you're at. So like I'm just so I'm worried about you. I just want to make sure you're okay. That's the biggest thing, you know.
Yeah, and that does make me feel better. No, I like want you to like know how I'm doing, and like, again, like the concussion plays like a big role in this, of how like shitty I feel. And so like, once I start feeling better, like, it'll be better. Like, these things get better. Okay, yeah, that's just my like thing, like coming out of it. Like, I just promised myself I would be like, okay, I need him to understand, like, so you know how hard you hit me based off the concussion, then, like, you know how hard it was.
Yeah, like I didn't. Yeah, it's just it surprised me so much. Like I didn't. Yeah.
She keeps trying. She really is trying to fish. Like, you know how hard you hit me, right? Based off the concussion, right? She's trying to make it seem like she's trying to make it seem like he intentionally hit her so hard and like destroyed her, in to show some kind of intent. That's her goal here, is to try to show intent. She really is fishing so hard.
Thank you for sharing that. Like, I know it doesn't help, but like it's not something that'll ever like happen again. I guess I don't.
Yeah. No, it does help me. Yeah. Sorry.
It
Keep
does help me
talking.
for my lawsuit. Well, I didn't because she lost. So.
Like it's not something that will ever happen again. Like, I don't want you to be getting worried about that. I know that like it's not as easy as that. You know, like I know the words don't change like, your emotions, and which is why I'm struggling so much to like. It's just it's yeah. I'm shocked that you ended up at this place because you know I just want to make sure you're okay. That's all.
Yeah. No, that helps. I mean, I feel like I got like it's so hard for me to say like these things because like it is like my natural coping mechanism is to just like not talk about shit. Like that's how I lived for my life for so long. So like I appreciate you letting me just like express like what I like did and didn't want. And so yeah, I feel honestly like a lot better, even if I don't sound like it right now, but like it'll be a lot easier for me to like talk to you now and all that stuff. So thanks, TB. And your Yoda gif was cute yesterday.
My what?
Your little Yoda gif or GIF, however you say it.
Incredible. Damn, she doesn't even know how to say GIF correctly. Now I know she's a liar. Now I know that this person cannot be trusted.
Yeah, I was thinking about you.
And then you had a killer game.
My hard cock.
What was it, 11Ks?
Yeah, it was an okay night, but
Damn, he had a good game after they fucked, and she still did this to him. What a tragedy! What a tragedy!
it's not as important as
Holy shit!
what's going on with us. So.
Yes. Okay. Well, what?
Yeah. Do you want me to continue like checking on you? Do you want me to leave you alone? Just how do I?
Yeah. No. I mean. Yeah. No. I would love like obviously. You're important to me, so I would love for you to check in. If I don't reply, it's honestly because I'm sleeping or like trying to figure my life out. But mostly I'm just sleeping all the time. So, no, yeah,
Okay, so there's that situation. That's her phone call, dude. She's totally full of shit. I think she was fishing that whole time. I don't think she has any credibility. Fuck her. Let's see the rest of this interview.
Snapchatted me, and he knew I was over there, and he kind of had said, hey, how's it going? And in my mind at that point, that was probably like 20, 30 minutes before I left Bauer's house. I, was thinking like, there's no way I can tell anyone what happened. First of all, it's so embarrassing because it ended up with me crying and shaking, and it was just so embarrassing. And so I record that to just send back to my cousin like, hey, everything, is fine. So that is exactly what happened.
Sure, I'd believe that, but again, there was nothing on you. So
happened there with me of just trying to rally and didn't think I would ever say anything about what happened at that point in time.
So why'd you sue then?
And then I get real fired up about this so that video is taken with no lights on in the room. On Snapchat, it was taken and saved to the app. So a lot of differences there between natural light and all that stuff.
And it takes a minute for a bruise to come up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just a bruise takes a minute to come up. So
maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, any normal person, can see that bruises will take time. That video was taken maybe 4 hours after everything happened.
If the bruising is like really bad, you're gonna see swelling immediately. So.
So. I took that and I said this straight in my deposition. If you zoom in, the scratches are all there. You can't see if there's a shadow on my face. So what I did was, and these of course never been public either. Some of them have been. I get in the car about 20 minutes after that and take selfies of my entire face. And there that you can, see the bruise just starting. And the scratching and all of that stuff. And so then as time went on, I wasn't aware of anything else on my body. But those did develop, within 24 hours. So, and over again, those pictures of me in the car with the bruising starting to develop, the metadata continually handed over and over again to verify that nothing was filtered or anything like that. The metadata has been bulletproof this entire case.
Yeah, well, it got dismissed without them looking at your or his. They got dismissed without anybody looking at his side of the story. So clearly, it's not solid. Okay.
Well, what do you say to the people that, now that you've settled the lawsuit, they're going to say, well, you were lying. What do you say to those people that are calling you a liar, Lindsay?
It's a great question. Like I said, I'm pretty numb to it at this point. I've been dealing with it a lot. My biggest thing is just, ask questions, maybe do some digging into the case, realize that there's a lot of this that was labeled confidential. Unfortunately, there's other women involved, and I am so confident in, and I was fully prepared to go to trial and to do all those things. And
what other women are involved? Get the fuck out of here.
He is the one, that has never been testified under oath. He's never been questioned, cross-examined publicly. And I am the one that has been. So there's just so much. I think that another key ruling in the civil process that had also taken place when he was trying to dismiss my counterclaims was that Judge Selna in California, he did rule that, because Trevor makes this whole argument about the restraining order hearing.
Yeah, not being granted.
Keeping in mind that the police didn't give me that cold call transcript between me and him till about 14 months later. I wasn't even able to use that cold call as evidence in my restraining order trial. So Judge Selma,
were you really worried though, Lindsay? No, I'm not trying to cut you off. I mean, do you think he was going to come and hurt you?
Jesus, that was a lot of words.
Again, you were worried for your safety? Seriously?
At that point, I was way more concerned with him not contacting me. Okay. And it was just a trippy time for me because I had already cooperated with him.
But he never hit you, though, outside of anything that you're doing with, in the bedroom, right? I mean, he was never like, oh, you Snapchatted a guy and hit you, right? I mean, everything was, okay, yeah, okay. Just want to make
nothing like that.
Yeah, so they had consensual aggressive sex, okay.
I mean, it's super valid. I think people have a lot of questions about the restraining order as well. It was more so of, that fear of like, well, I can just secure a no contact order, if he does find out I'm talking to the police and whatever, he wants to do. And then, come to find out later that another woman in Ohio, just a year before me, had a temporary restraining order against him, which I feel like also is not talked about as much in this pattern of behavior. So I do think that's all very valid. But what I was saying is ultimately I got that vindication when the judge in our civil case ruled.
What's the pattern of behavior she's referring to? Was when she talked about other girls, was she talking about how he engaged in like CNC before, or because that's what this would fall under, like consensual non-consent? Well, I don't care. This whole thing is so fucking dumb.
That Trevor was not cleared of any wrongdoing in the restraining order hearing, and that was a judge's ruling.
What?
Wrongdoing case ruled that Trevor was not cleared of any wrongdoing in the.
Okay, they didn't clear him of wrongdoing. Doesn't mean that that's not an assertion that he did something wrong. That's just saying that they didn't examine his behavior and clear it of wrongdoing. That means nothing to me.
Restraining order hearing, and that was a judge's ruling.
Okay, so what hurts your feelings the most when they call you Lindsay Smollett or when they call you Kobe Bryant's accuser? Which one do you piss you off the most?
Kobe Bryant.
Oh my gosh. I mean, like I said, I have always, and it's got me in a lot of trouble, my coping with humor skills. That's what gets me through. So Smollett's a pretty gnarly one.
I know, the Smollett one's good. I kind of like the Smollett. Okay, so now we have an investigation.
This is such a weird thing. I feel like these people on the Blaze aren't even taking this very seriously. That's okay.
Journalist, this is Sarah Fields. I'm sure Sarah wants to ask you a question. So Sarah, please, what question do you have for Lindsay?
I'm ready for it.
I don't have a whole lot of questions. I just, these text messages are incredibly concerning, and it doesn't really feel like something that should be joked around about. But were you granted a restraining order?
No.
You were not granted a restraining order because, okay, so I'm not going to sit here and I'm not going to call you a liar because I don't think that would be appropriate. But what I will say is that if anybody ever accuses someone of something so horrific and it's not actually true, that would be the most disgusting thing because this man's career has potentially been completely destroyed. His future.
It doesn't seem completely destroyed, but it was definitely put on hold and completely unfair. He didn't do anything wrong, it seems. and he got punished for it.
has been completely stained. And that is very bothersome to me as someone who is a DV victim myself, a DV survivor, as well as my daughter is also a survivor of
Jesus,
a horrific
that's horrible.
thing that we came out of. And I was myself accused of something that I absolutely did not do, and that was horrific in itself. It caused trauma and it caused PTSD, not just to me, but to my entire family. And now a lot of that is out in the open, and it's brought that trauma back all over again of what I went through in my marriage with my abusive ex-husband, who now, years later, we've been finally exonerated, and it's been proven that everything we did say was true, because now he sits in a prison cell for 15 years in actually not far from here, believe it or not, and it should be longer than that. But I think that anyone who accuses someone of doing something like this and is not telling the truth because they're putting money over life, they value money over the life of someone else.
I feel like she could have got a bunch of money too if she had just kept fucking with the guy. You know, she could have, the guy, you know what I mean? Could have just got some money for that. I don't know. He probably could have, if she wanted to get his money, she probably could have raised him up in a different way anyway.
Belongs in a jail cell right next to my ex-husband.
Do you agree that fake sexual assault accusers should go to prison, Lindsay?
Yeah, of course. The problem with saying that false accusers of sexual assault go to prison is that you have to make sure that you have a good, you know, I guess you'd say barrier of how do you, like, of proof for sexual assault. You know, or excuse me. In order to put, false accusers do deserve to go to jail, but it's a difficult line to cross because you would need to really prove that it was a false accusation and not just a not just an unintent or a bad situation that you misinterpreted, right? So you would want to kind of make sure that that's the difficulty with putting people in prison for that. You know, I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just saying that it's difficult. You don't want to discourage actual people who come forward. You don't want to discourage them from being able to come forward because you've implemented something like that.
I absolutely do. And I think there's a big reason that that has never happened to me in 2.5 years because of all of the different evidence that has been laid out there.
I mean, I certainly am.
I just think that based on her story, they're not going to arrest her for false accusations because they're not enough to say it's false. They're just going to say like, oh, it must have just been the misinterpretation of boundaries.
The opinion that something happened. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and call you a liar. Now, everybody on the right wing, they're coming after you. They're calling you a whore. They're saying you're a cleat chaser because you were texting some other baseball player, this and that. You know, I'm just saying, you know, that's what you're going to get. My whole problem with this situation, though, it's like, nobody wins. You lose, he loses, you had a bad thing. It's like, how do we fix this situation? Or is your life always going to be stained? Is his life always going to be stained?
Well, I mean, her life is probably not going to, she's not a public figure, so it's going to go away from her. Like, she'll probably never 100% live this down. But for the most part, it's just going to be, like, she's fine. She's probably going to be fine.
How are you going to try
That's
to
why this interview with her only has 13,000 views, whereas him saying like, oh, I'm innocent, and it was proven in some, or was dismissed before I even had to give my side of the story. That's how bad her evidence is. But that has like 1 million views.
On from all of this, Lindsay?
I'm just finally really, really relieved to be done with it. And at the end of the day, I just have so much confidence in knowing that the things that will keep coming out, no matter how they come out, just reveals the actuality of the situation so much more than a 4-minute video. And he has another trial with another accuser that's actually scheduled for May in Arizona. And I think a lot will come out in that trial as well. So I think that what I have to do is, step back. There's a lot of things that I absolutely have to work on. But it's time for me to step back and finally close this chapter of my life and, let karma do the rest for sure.
Well, Lindsay, you're in great shape. You don't need to work on your body much, but you probably do need to work on your little mental health a little bit from this. I mean, I know how this
just what an inappropriate comment to make. Like, okay, cool.
Goes. But so, I mean, when it comes to all of the allegations, we were talking about
There's a woman in Arizona who alleges in a lawsuit he held a knife at her throat and choked her until she passed out. Wow. Okay, that one's pretty intense. Jesus Christ, what the fuck? I wonder if this girl came forward with this because she saw that there was another person who came forward. Wow. I have no idea about that one. There's not a whole lot of information on it. It seems like that person wasn't looking to make it a big public spectacle.
The legal stuff that's, you know, weighing on him and the, you know, future potential stuff. Are you satisfied with this outcome? I mean, I would think that if I was an assault victim, I wouldn't be satisfied. But how do you actually feel right now after everything now is kind of almost over?
Yeah, like I said, I was more than willing to go to trial, more than confident in what that would have.
Oh no, this one came the other one came second, the Arizona one. Back in 2020 where he was accused. Yeah, I don't know if there's any more information on this. That's crazy.
Portrayed and revealed on a public scale, but I really, especially over the last year or so, have just completely.
The accusation is that he raped her with choking her and a knife and got her pregnant. Interesting.
Crumbled, and my soul has been, you know, crushed by litigation and all of this stuff. And I just made the decision that nothing is worth, you know, public vindication or anything like that. What I was going through and feeling at the moment. So I just had to make that decision that my mental health and my healing is more important to me than getting every single thing public and really.
Yeah, apparently there might be 4 accusers. The situation is fucking wild, dude. I wonder if he's guilty of one of them. I have no idea. This shit's fucking insane.
Bringing the truth to the situation.
And then Trevor mentioned a thing that's, you know, very personal. He talked about how you were going to Alcoholics Anonymous. So when you and Trevor would hang out, did y'all drink a lot? I'm guessing. Was that a big part of the relationship, drinking? Because, you know, when you're drunk, you know, you are impulsive. Was alcohol a big part of this, in your opinion?
Okay.
So I actually, when I met Trevor, I had not drank in 18 months. And I was really heavy into AA and really doing well at that point.
You were sober when you met him.
Okay.
Yes, I was. And that was a really, you know, before that, a good time of my life. I learned a lot. I tried to start getting sober in 2019. My sobriety has taken a toll, and I have fallen on my face. And, you know, I'm pretty sure everyone's seen the Morgan Wallen video.
Yes, we have the Morgan Wallen video. Let's play a clip of it. Oh my gosh, Lindsay, let's play a clip of this video.
Is that this one here? No, it's not.
We're only going to play 10 seconds of it. Let's show it. This video, even though you look good in the outfit. Okay, let's play it.
Dude, what is up with this guy and like talking about how attractive she is? What the fuck is wrong with him?
Lindsay, you look hot. But who are you mad at in this video?
What the fuck? No shit, this guy's on the blaze. This guy's a fucking idiot. Why would he be making these comments about her body? This is somebody that do you think that she was sexually assaulted and you think that's like appropriate? I'm not saying that she was. My point is like, why would you, as some kind of a news person, do something like that?
I don't get it.
I don't think this video is that bad. I mean, you just look a little buzzed.
Sure that can happen.
You can go. No, you can go. You can go. No, actually, yes, ma'am. Yes, don't touch my face. No, I will.
Yeah, why are you drinking Bud Light? What are you doing with that Bud Light, Lindsay? I didn't know you were a lesbian. I thought you were heterosexual.
Okay. I guess this is like the humor. So funny.
What the heck? Now the conservatives are really going to come after your ass.
That was hard.
So now you're at the concert drinking the gay beer.
Okay, I think I'm gonna tap out of this. This is obviously just dumb as shit. I think I'm done with this topic in general. So in conclusion, it seems like this woman seemingly like leveraged false accusations against this guy. Honestly, that's what it seems like. It sounds like they engaged in some kind of consensual non-consent sex. And maybe he took it a little too far unintentionally. That's it. There are other accusations. I don't know about those ones. If they're like this one, he's probably innocent, but maybe one of them is accurate. I don't know. But in this case, she's full of shit.